Hi guys! So I just hiked back from the Kalalau Trail in Kauai, and I wanted to share a few tips on what I packed and didn't use, and what I wish I packed. So we'll start with what I wore on the trail. I wore some Nike DRI-FIT shorts. This ROXY DRI-FIT long sleeve. It helps really well with sun protection because some of the trail is really exposed. Some parts, when you start early in the morning, it's cold, and then some parts get really hot, and this helped keep me warm and cool at the same time. RIGHT socks, that's the brand. They're double layered socks specifically to prevent blistering. And I really love these socks. I've had it for several years now, and I haven't got a blister in them since. You definitely don't want to get a blister in 11 miles, and these work very well. They're made of wool, and they wick away moisture also. I had my Solomon trail running shoes, this waist pouch that I put right around my waist because I have an iPhone 11 and it doesn't fit in my front pockets very well, so this was perfect, so I can just take my phone in and out whenever I wanted to take pictures. Then we'll get over here to my pack. I had a GREGORY 38-liter pack, and it was the perfect size. I think you shouldn't go any smaller or bigger with your pack, because if it's bigger, you just overpacked way too much, and if it's smaller, you might not have enough room for everything. But this one worked really well. I also had the rain cover just in case it rained. Thankfully for us, it didn't rain, which is great. I had my big AGNES one-person tent. This was great, super lightweight, and it fit really well. The other people that I hiked with, they were in hammocks, so it really is up to you. There's plenty of trees in each campsite that you can hang a hammock. The ground at the campsite, some of them are sand and some of them are hard dirt, so you definitely need a sleeping pad. Just with any camping trip at all, you need a sleeping pad, but this worked really well. You'll need your permits. Get those printed out. You must have it printed, so keep that with you always. These are hiking poles that I got from REI. You need hiking poles. Some of the people in the group that I went with didn't have any, so you can find a stick there, but it's not as comfortable as having these, and it's really convenient when you have the strap, because sometimes it's easier to do this, and my friend had lost her stick. She forgot to grab it after our break, so these were a life changer. It's actually my first time hiking with hiking poles, and I love them. Mostly, especially for long distance, but it really helped with uphills and downhills and bushwhacking. Like, it's not too overgrown, the trail, but the shrubs do get in the way, and so when you hold your poles, it hits your poles before it hits your legs, so I didn't really get cut up when another girl that I was with got cut up because she didn't have poles. But these really help shift the weight. I never felt like my pack was too heavy because you can shift the weight from your knees and your calves and your quads to your arms, especially when you're going uphill and downhill. And when you're crossing all the rivers, it really helps with stability. So you need hiking poles. A trick that one of my friends had told me is just to cut down on space and weight. Wrap some tape around your pole. That way, if you need tape, I have masking tape on this side, and I have padded cushion tape on this side, for blisters or just things like that. But it doesn't take any weight or space, and it's really convenient to just have those. Waterproof rain jacket, a DRI-FIT hat, sunglasses, baby wipes, cash. You never know if a boat is going to come up to shore at Kalalau Beach and offer to take anyone back to the trailhead. Of course, it's going to cost money, and you got to have cash. I'd bring 100 to 200 just in case. These were kind of like a knee brace, knee support. I got them at Long's, and they just go right onto your leg, right onto your knee, and right here, and it worked so good. On the way in, my knees weren't too bad. They started hurting at the end, but I don't know why I didn't put these on, but on the way back, I wore these the whole time, and my knees did not hurt at all. So I definitely recommend these. KT blister prevention tape. These worked great also. I had put these on before my hike and I didn't get a blister. I don't know if it's because my blister supporting socks or these KT tapes. You just put it right on where you normally get a blister, and they stick really, really well, even in water. I didn't bring this whole thing because this takes a lot of space and you don't need 30 blister patches, so I just took a handful of them and put it in my little bag I'll get to in a second. For water, you do not need a big water bottle. Honestly, you can just have one bottle of water, a normal size, because there's so many streams that you cross and you fill up your water. Literally every like 20 minutes you're gonna pass a water source, so you just fill up one or two. I had two water with your water filter. You need a water filter. The one that I had was the Sawyer and I loved it. I did a lot of research on which water filter I should get. You know, there's like Life Straw and Sawyer Mini and things like that, and I've read a lot that Life Straw was really hard to get water out. The Sawyer was amazing. All we did was fill up these pouches. It comes with 2 pouches, and you fill it up in the stream and then screw it on, and then you just put it into your water and it works great. You can drink right out of it too. Some people say that these are really cheaply made and burst. When you're squeezing the water in, you don't need to squeeze hard. It goes without even squeezing, so just let it flow as it naturally would, and that way you don't break it, because you need these two, because when you're at the campsite and you fill up your water at the waterfall, you don't want to have to keep going back and back and back. Having to really saves a lot of time for you. You want to camp closest to the waterfall as you can, because it's so convenient to have it so close rather than like needing to travel super far just to get water. My warm clothes, so I had long pants that I slept in, a thermal long sleeve. I packed these clothes in a Ziploc because you never know when you need a Ziploc, and it keeps your stuff dry just in case it does rain. A swimsuit, extra socks, and gloves. The gloves I didn't end up using, but I definitely wanted to have extra pairs of socks just in case your socks do get wet. You need dry feet, otherwise you will get blisters. This was a game changer. This is needed. So what this is a tripod. It's a tripod for your phone. And you just put your phone right in here, and it has Bluetooth. You could take off the little remote and Bluetooth it, or a lot of times I just did a timer. But when you're in a group and when you don't want to do a selfie stick, I mean, you could use this as a selfie stick also. It extends out just like this. But this thing was able to take all the angles that you want, all the pictures that you want, and you can get everybody in the group without it being a selfie shot. And this was amazing because those angles with the mountains, you're gonna want this. I'll leave it as a link in the description below if you wanted to get this. Everybody loved it. And everywhere I go, it's amazing. When you go on trips, when you go on vacation, you need this. I love how it gets really small, so you could just put it in your pocket too. It's so convenient to have this little mini tripod for your phone. This, right now, since I just hiked out, this is my trash bag, so everything you pack in, you need to pack out. All your trash and everything, you're gonna take it back home with you. I wanted to keep this to show you that this is the food that I brought. I brought Mountain House dehydrated food. I had 6 packs of these. This was I packed beef stroganoff, chicken teriyaki, chicken fried rice, and breakfast skillets. This was the little stove that I had. I don't have the propane tank with me right now, but you just screw this right on the propane tank. It's about this size, and you put the little pot right on top, fill it with water. It's usually about 1.5 cups or so of water. In about 5 minutes or so, the water is boiling. Pour it in, and it's great. And this was really nice and convenient because it was super small and compact and didn't take up any space at all. For the morning, I don't like to eat a huge breakfast, so I just had made peanut butter sandwiches and Quest bar. And I also packed these Hammer Gel that I got at REI, so it's an energy booster. This was fire lights. We used it when we wanted to make a fire, and it lights even when wet, so it really helps start that fire when sticks are hard to get lit initially. So this was really, really cool to have. A headlamp. You need a headlamp. Definitely need a headlamp. At night it gets really dark. We were lucky we had a full moon, so we didn't need it that much, but in the beginning when you start your trail and you're in the valley, it's super dark. So definitely need a headlamp, even around camp. I also recommend having another lamp or light. This is my little sack of miscellaneous items, mostly food. I packed these tuna packs, way lighter than cans. Don't pack cans. Very inconvenient, very heavy. You don't even have a can opener, and you shouldn't have one because that's heavy. Some corn nuts. I was really worried about not having enough food, so I wanted to have lots of snacks to snack on. Pretzel crisp. I didn't even get to these yet because I had packed enough food. I also packed beef jerky and some cuties, but you don't really need to bring fruit. Found plenty of fruit on the trail. We found lilikoi, found tangerines, lemons. Really, really cool to have some fresh fruit on the trail. Hot tea, if I wanted some tea in the morning. Pedialyte packs, which is great to rehydrate you because you burn a lot of calories and you maybe not drink enough water, but Pedialyte packs was great. And this orange one tastes amazing. I brought cards that I didn't end up using, but if we got bored, I had these, but you will not get bored. So this is something that I didn't really need to pack. Probably could have saved the weight, but it was just a pack of cards just in case we did get bored and wanted to play games, but don't need this. You will not get bored. A book. This was really nice to read a book next to the waterfall, looking at the view. I did bring a speaker. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was needed. If I did need to listen to anything, I did bring my headphones and I downloaded a bunch of podcasts and music so that I can listen. But it was really nice to just listen to the waves and nature and just be present. So something that I brought, something that I probably wouldn't bring next time. This is my toiletries, another miscellaneous bag. BRONNERS soap, biodegradable, definitely recommend these. You can wash your face, hair, body, clothes with this, and you want to make sure it's biodegradable. So BRONNERS is perfect. Advil, Benadryl, and Pepto-Bismol, just in case. You are gonna get sore, you might get a stomach ache, and these weigh barely anything. Don't need to bring the whole pill bottle, just bring a little baggie for just in case emergencies. Oh, you need a spoon with your pot. Hand sanitizer. Bug spray, you need bug spray. Well, not really, well, maybe. I get eaten alive by mosquitoes and I didn't get bit not once. There wasn't even any mosquitoes, even at the streams, which I was very surprised. But definitely bring it anyway, just in case. Duct tape, this is cool, I found it at Ace Hardware. It's like a little mini pack of duct tape, so that way you don't have to bring a whole roll. Didn't use it, didn't need it, but definitely good to keep in your bag for in the event an emergency happens. Like what if your shoe breaks? Your sole comes off, you need something, you need it. So definitely an emergency to have. A toothpaste and a toothbrush, a little pack of cornstarch in case it was like overcast and my shoes were not going to dry. Cornstarch will help absorb the moisture and prevent you from getting blisters. Tiger Balm, like I said, you will get sore. You may need Tiger Balm. I also brought SWIMSUIT, which is kind of similar to Tiger Balm. I didn't bring this whole box, but I did grab a little stack of them. They look like these, and it's just a little patch that you put over any sore spots. Say if your backpack was rubbing or your back is sore. I also had the bigger bigger patches of these, and I think it really helped save me. I put one big patch on each of my knees and my lower back on the first night that I went to sleep, and it worked great. Zip ties, just in case. Another thing, maybe what if your pack belt clip broke? What are you gonna do? Zip tie. Didn't need it, but good to have, just in case. These are COMPEED, which is kind of acts like second skin. So if you were to get a blister, you put this on the hot spot, on the blister, and it really stays in place and it can last for days. So I was really worried about blisters, so I got blister prevention and blister treatment. So didn't need them, didn't use them, but very good to have just in case. Vaseline. Some things that I read was, you know, to prevent blisters also is to put rub it on your feet and coat your feet with Vaseline. It's kind of, you gotta do either or though, because if you put Vaseline and try to use the blister tape, it won't stick. So you gotta pick and choose which one you want to do. I put these on my toes, and then I put these on the heel and bottom of my foot. Infection ointment just in case. Sunscreen. I didn't bring a whole bottle of sunscreen because you don't need that much and it's too big and heavy. So I just used this little jar that I had and put sunscreen in it. The sun is really harsh out there, so you definitely need sunscreen. And I brought SPF chapstick so that you can protect your lips also. Like a pocket knife kind of, and it has like this, and didn't use it, but I definitely still would pack it just in case you did need it, because that's something that you might need. I brought a lighter, but I also brought this, like a sparker, in case a lighter either stopped working or got wet. You know, it's good to have backups. With my water filter, I also had I had my friend let me borrow his life straw to have a second backup just in case. But if you're with a group and they have multiple water filters, you don't need to bring two. I don't like to use water bladders because I think it tastes weird and it feels weird, and you can't really gauge how much you're drinking and how much you have left. But these are really cool. So you just, it's like a D-ring with a little holder so that you can slide right over your water bottle, and it clips right into your strap, your backpack strap. And something extra that you definitely need to pack, especially if you're a girl with hair, is an extra hairband. You never know when it's gonna break or you lose it, and I can't even imagine hiking with my hair down. Oh, that'd be terrible. So definitely pack an extra hairband. When you get down to the camp, you want to take off your shoes. Sure, you can go barefoot. There's a lot of twigs and sticks and rocks everywhere besides the sand, so it's good to have either a pair of slippers, or I had a pair of Keens, which worked great because just in case I did get blisters, or just in case these were wet, I wanted to have an extra pair that I can kind of wade in the water with and kind of slip on and off at camp. So these worked great. This is the little blanket that I brought. A lot smaller than a sleeping bag. It got really small in my backpack, but my friends had this down blanket that compacted to like a quarter of this size, so I definitely want to look into getting something like that. It's way smaller than a sleeping bag and way more convenient, and this one kept me warm, but that down blanket looked really nice. Something that I packed and I don't think that I needed was a towel. So I packed this backpacking towel. Compact's really small and lightweight, but I never really even used it because I had my PEDIALYTE. So I used this to lay out in the sand. I used this to use as sun protection. I didn't really need to pat myself dry with a towel because the sun will dry you up, and yeah, I just never really needed a towel. So I would skip a towel and I would bring a PEDIALYTE because there's multiple uses for this. You could even use it like a towel, but this one I used almost the entire time. This was great. I even used this in addition with my blanket at night to keep me warm. Something I also packed and didn't use or need, and I wouldn't bring next time, was my micro spikes. These definitely help with traction if it's wet and crumbly and stuff, but my shoes already have like cleated bottoms, and I found these to be exactly what I needed. So these are just extra weight. If you don't have any traction on your shoes, which you should have, you can use these. I didn't need it. I don't think you need it, but that's something to think about. A dry bag. I did not pack this, and I'm glad I didn't because I did not need this. It was going to be for, you know, when you get to camp and then you go on a day trip down through Kalalau Valley to bring things in, but there was a group of us and the rest of them brought bags, so I just carried my water bottle and I didn't really need much. I had my pouch that I showed you earlier, put my phone and any small little things that I needed in this, but definitely don't need a dry bag, definitely didn't need it. Leave this at home. GoPro. I didn't bring this whole stick because I didn't need it, but I did want to film Crawler's Ledge. So all I did was take my GoPro and I did a makeshift head mount, and I put the GoPro like this, and I brought this. This is how I did Crawler's Ledge, which is really, really cool. Not scary at all. Definitely nothing to scare you at all about doing the trail. But this was really cool. I was able to capture some footage with, you definitely want to focus on Crawler's Ledge because it's easy to misstep, and you definitely don't want to misstep there. So having all your focus on the trail, having your hands available on the rocks and not recording, that is not smart at all. So definitely recommend some type of headpiece or chest mount for your GoPro. And I think that's everything. All right, guys, good luck on the trail.